The sky above Earth had always been beautiful, but tonight it seemed different. The stars blinked as if they were watching, sending silent messages across the dark canvas of space. In a quiet observatory high in the Himalayas, Captain Alara Vance stared at the glowing screen in front of her. The message she had just received was simple, yet it carried a weight she could barely comprehend. Humanity, you have a debt. The time has come to repay it, or the galaxy will remember you only in fire. Ilara blinked, unsure if it was a joke. But the symbols on the screen, unlike anything human scientists had ever seen, were undeniably real. They were not only precise, but elegantly complex, indicating a civilization far older and more advanced than humanity. It had been centuries since humans first reached beyond their solar system. Faster than light travel, once a dream, had become a reality. Yet humanity had never truly joined the galactic stage. Most alien civilizations regarded humans as primitive. Clever, yes, but fragile. Weak. Easy to ignore. And now, apparently, the galaxy's most powerful entities wanted something. Ilara Kama, chosen by the United Earth government for her courage and resourcefulness, was summoned to the capital city, where a council of scientists, diplomats, and military leaders awaited. As she entered the grand hall, the tension was palpable. Every seat was filled with humans who had studied alien languages, technology, and diplomacy. Yet none could hide their fear. "We don't even know what this debt is," said Dr. Amina Razi, a linguist who had spent years studying alien communication. "It could be something catastrophic or trivial. We simply don't know." Ilara's voice was calm but firm. "Then we find out. Humans have survived for thousands of years. We adapt. We solve problems. That is what makes us strong. No alien challenge will change that." The room was silent for a moment, then murmurs spread. It was not arrogance. Humans were known for their quiet determination, but confidence. Something the aliens could not understand, and yet it might be their greatest weapon. By the next morning, preparations for the mission were already underway. The Resolute, a massive starship built for long journeys, was being readied. Its hull gleamed silver under the light of Earth's sun, and inside engineers moved with practiced precision. Every piece of equipment, every engine module, every navigation system was checked again and again. Failure was not an option. The crew consisted of the best humanity had to offer. Pilots who could navigate storms of meteorites, scientists who could decode alien codes, engineers who could fix anything from a broken engine to a failing star drive, and Ilara herself, fearless, clever, and unyielding, was their leader. On the day of departure, the world watched. Televised broadcasts showed humans boarding the Resolute, leaving behind a planet that had nurtured them for millennia. Families waved from the spaceport, tears in their eyes, pride in their hearts. Across the globe, people whispered, "This is humanity's moment. We are finally stepping into the stars." The ship lifted off with a roar, leaving Earth behind, and the vast darkness of space stretched before them. Stars sparkled like jewels scattered across a black cloth. For the first time, humans were truly small, tiny specks in an infinite universe. Yet, even as they traveled, the aliens of the Galactic Council were already observing. From distant planets, massive ships silently followed. Each alien race had its own opinion about humans. Some laughed at the idea of humans completing a galactic debt. Others were curious. Few, very few, were starting to feel something else, quiet, unsettling respect. On the Resolute, the crew settled into their routines. Sensors scanned for anomalies. Navigation officers calculated trajectories through uncharted territories, and Ilara stood on the bridge staring at a holographic star map, thinking about what awaited them. "Captain," said Lieutenant Joran, the pilot, breaking her thoughts. "We're entering the Orion sector. Unknown gravitational disturbances, detected, could slow us down." Ilara nodded. "We'll adjust. Humanity always finds a way, Joran. Never forget that." As they approached the first sector, strange signals began to appear on their sensors. At first, they seemed like random bursts of energy, but careful analysis revealed a pattern, almost like a message. The aliens had left a trail for them. Perhaps it was a test, perhaps a warning, or maybe it was just coincidence. Dr. Razi studied the signals, her eyes widening as she spoke. Captain, these patterns are deliberately complex. They could be an invitation or a trap. Ilara's expression remained calm. Then we proceed carefully, and we solve it. That is what humans do. Suddenly, alarms blared. A nearby asteroid field had shifted unexpectedly, threatening the ship. The crew reacted with speed and precision, adjusting the ship's shields and engines. Debris smashed past, metal groaning under the strain. Yet through skill and teamwork, the Resolute passed unscathed. That was close, muttered Joran, exhaling. Most species would have lost half their crew. Most species, Ilara agreed, her eyes scanning the stars again, are not human. Hours later, as calm returned, the crew gathered in the observation lounge. Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, a reminder of both their insignificance and potential. Humans had left the safety of their world, stepping into danger no alien could fully predict. And for the first time, they felt something that no alien could replicate. Hope. Even in the shadows of vast alien empires, humans possessed something unique: creativity, courage, and an unpredictable spirit. No alien logic could anticipate how humans would react, how they would adapt, how they would survive. Night fell aboard the Resolute, but sleep was not easy. Each crew member lay in their quarters, thinking of the debt they were to repay. What had their ancestors promised? What could the galaxy demand? And more importantly, what could humans give that no alien could ever understand? The next morning, Ilara called the crew to the bridge. "Today we enter our first trial," she said. Her voice carried authority, hope, and a spark of something almost defiant. "The galaxy may think us weak. It may think us simple. But we know the truth. We are humans. And humans never give up. We adapt. We endure. And we repay our debts. Not because we must, but because we can." As the Resolute moved into the unknown, the stars seemed to shimmer, almost as if the universe itself had noticed humanity's courage. And somewhere, deep in the shadows of space, alien observers whispered in disbelief. Could it be that humans are more than we imagined? The journey had begun. The debt of millennia was calling, and humanity, underestimated and ignored for centuries, was about to show the galaxy the true meaning of strength. The stars watched, and for the first time, they seemed uneasy. The Resolute glided silently through the dark emptiness of space. Stars stretched in all directions, glittering like scattered diamonds on a black canvas. Yet, for all its beauty, the crew felt the tension in the air. This was no ordinary mission. This was the beginning of humanity's first trial, a test designed not only to measure their skills but to measure the essence of what it meant to be human. Captain Ilara Vance stood on the bridge, arms crossed, eyes focused on the holographic star map. "We are approaching Zephyra," she announced. Her voice carried a calm authority that masked the underlying anxiety she felt. Zephyra was not just any planet. It was the first of the Alien Council's trials. Few species had survived a single test, and none had completed all three. Lieutenant Joran, the ship's pilot, studied the readings. Planet's atmosphere is thin, mostly nitrogen, some unknown gases. Gravity is slightly higher than Earth. Surface temperatures fluctuate wildly. Entry may be complicated. Ilara nodded. Complicated is what we do best. Remember, humans always adapt. Let's make history. As the Resolute entered Zephyra's orbit, the planet revealed itself in layers of swirling blue and green clouds. Beneath them, jagged mountains pierced the horizon and vast oceans reflected the alien sun. From orbit, it looked serene, almost peaceful, yet the Council's trials were never simple. The first message appeared on their screens, floating as holographic symbols in the air. Solve what you do not understand. Survive what you cannot predict. Prove what you were born to be. The words were vague but threatening. Ilara turned to her crew. This is our challenge. It's not just about strength. It's about thinking, understanding, and acting. Every one of you has a role. Trust yourselves. Trust each other. The Resolute began its descent. As the ship entered Zephyra's atmosphere, turbulence shook the hull violently. Lightning danced across the clouds outside, striking without warning. The crew tightened their grips on consoles, adjusting engines and shields in perfect synchronization. Brace. For impact, Joran muttered, as the ship pierced the thick lower clouds. For a moment it felt like the storm might tear the Resolute apart. But with careful maneuvering, the ship broke through, landing on a plateau overlooking a vast valley. The ground beneath them was firm but uneven, cracked in places like dried mud. Silence fell on the crew. For a brief moment it seemed that nothing more would happen. Then the air shimmered and an enormous structure appeared on the valley floor. It was impossible to describe, organic and mechanical at the same time, pulsating with light as if alive. The trial had begun. A voice resonated in their minds, not through speakers, but through thought itself. Humans, solve this. Only the worthy may pass, fail, and your kind shall be forgotten. Dr. Amina Razi, the linguist, whispered, "It's communicating directly. Somehow it reads our minds." "That's impossible." Ilara placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Nothing about humans is impossible. Let's approach it logically and creatively." The structure began to shift, opening pathways that seemed like puzzles. Panels rose, floors moved, and glowing symbols rotated in the air. Every step forward required a decision, and every wrong choice triggered obstacles. Rising walls, moving platforms, or sudden bursts of energy. The crew split into teams. Engineers repaired and stabilized unstable platforms. Scientists deciphered the glowing symbols, looking for patterns. Pilots and security personnel ensured the group moved safely, navigating traps that no human had ever encountered. Hours passed. Some puzzles required mental agility, some required physical skill. But it was the moments when humans used intuition, something no alien logic could replicate, that brought success. For example, when a platform threatened to collapse, Ilara noticed a faint vibration pattern. Instead of following the obvious path, she adjusted their route slightly, a human instinct rather than calculated data, and the platform held. The aliens observing the trial began to whisper among themselves. "They are unpredictable," one said. "Their minds do not follow the rules." Another nodded, a rare expression of curiosity crossing their face. "Perhaps they are more than we assumed." Back on the plateau, the crew encountered the trial's final challenge, a vast chasm stretching as far as the eye could see. On the other side, the glowing exit of the trial shimmered. Between them and the exit floated hundreds of small platforms, each moving in its own rhythm. The task was clear: cross the chasm without falling, using timing, coordination, and clever thinking. Humans approached it cautiously. Every alien would have relied on calculations alone, predicting each platform's movement with precise formulas. But humans saw patterns that didn't exist, instincts that guided them. Ilara led with confidence, moving across a platform that seemed impossible to balance on. Others followed, learning from her movements, adapting in real-time. Midway, a platform began to collapse. Panic threatened to spread. But Joran shouted, "Trust your instincts, adjust together." And they did. By moving as one, coordinating small shifts in weight and timing, they made it across safely. The final step was taken by Dr. Razi, whose heart pounded as she crossed the last unstable bridge. When her foot touched solid ground, a wave of relief swept over the group. The structure pulsed with light, then dissolved into the air. The voice spoke again, this time softer. "You have succeeded. Few have. You are worthy." Ilara allowed herself a small smile, though the crew was exhausted. "Humans always find a way," she said simply. No matter the odds, no matter the unknown, that is who we are. The aliens observing recorded every detail. They whispered again, now in awe. They do not follow logic. They create it. Another added, their courage, their teamwork. It is terrifying in its simplicity. For the first time, humanity had not only survived a council trial, they had impressed beings who had never before considered humans a serious threat. Across the galaxy, intelligence networks buzzed with the news. Humans were no longer to be underestimated. As the crew returned to the Resolute, they were greeted by a calm, starry sky. The valley below Zephyra was quiet again, as if nothing had happened. Yet each member felt a change within themselves. They were stronger, braver, and more united than before. Alara looked at her team, pride swelling in her chest. We did it. The first trial is complete. But this is only the beginning. There are greater challenges ahead. The Council will test us further, and the galaxy will continue to watch. But remember this: humans do not break. Humans do not yield. Humans adapt. The crew nodded, each lost in their thoughts. They were exhausted, but they were alive and triumphant. Humanity's story was beginning to ripple outward, beyond Earth, beyond their solar system, beyond even what they could imagine. And far away, in the cold reaches of space, alien civilizations began to whisper in disbelief. Perhaps they are not weak, one said. Perhaps humans are dangerous. Alara did not hear these words. She didn't need to. She only needed to see the faces of her crew, the spark in their eyes, the quiet determination in their posture. The first trial had proven something crucial. Humans, underestimated for centuries, were not just survivors. They were innovators. They were thinkers. They were the spark that could ignite change across the galaxy. As the Resolute departed Zephyra, leaving the glowing valley behind, the crew understood the truth of their mission. This was more than repaying a debt. This was showing the universe what humanity was capable of. Every planet, every trial, every alien observer would soon learn the same lesson: humans were not just another species, humans were extraordinary. The Resolute cruised through the vast emptiness of space. The first trial on Zephyra had been a success, but the crew knew the galaxy was far larger, far stranger, and far more dangerous than any planet they had faced. Captain Alara Vance stood on the bridge, her eyes scanning the stars, each one a possible danger, or a possible ally. Lieutenant Joran broke the silence. Sensors are picking up a cluster of ships ahead, unknown origin, large, heavily armed. They're moving fast, intercepting our path. Alara's jaw tightened. Show me. The holographic screen displayed a fleet of sleek black vessels cutting through space like predators. Their movements were coordinated, almost too perfect. Pirates, she muttered. Or worse. Dr. Amina Razi leaned over the console. These readings are unusual. Their technology is alien, but adaptive. They're reacting to our maneuvers before we make them. Alara nodded. We've dealt with unpredictability before. Time to see how humans handle the unexpected. The alien fleet opened fire without warning. Pulses of energy streaked toward the Resolute, striking shields that rippled under the impact. The crew responded immediately, adjusting the ship's shields, firing countermeasures, and weaving through the asteroid-strewn space around them. Captain, evasive maneuvers are not enough, Joran reported. They anticipate every move we make. Alara clenched her fists. Then we do the unpredictable. Humans are not calculated. Humans are creative. Humans survive. She glanced at the crew. Ideas. Now. The Resolute turned sharply toward a nearby asteroid field. Sensors detected the alien ships following them closely. But Alara had an idea. Scatter, she commanded. Small drones deploy. The ship's automated drones shot out in multiple directions, each emitting high-frequency signals. The alien fleet hesitated. Their targeting systems disrupted. Humans were unpredictable. They were using deception, not just raw strength. Meanwhile, Joran guided the ship deeper into the asteroid field. Massive rocks loomed from every side, But humans had something no alien fleet could fully anticipate: intuition and adaptability. While alien calculations relied on patterns, humans relied on instinct. "Brace for impact," shouted Ilara as a massive asteroid loomed directly ahead. The ship veered at the last second, the hull scraping dangerously close. Sparks flew across the bridge. The crew held their positions, each trusting the others to react. One by one, the alien ships began to falter. Their systems, built for precision, could not cope with humans' chaos. They collided with asteroids or turned back, unable to anticipate the next move. Ilara allowed herself a brief smile. Humans always find a way. As the immediate threat passed, the crew caught their breath. Dr. Razi studied the ship's sensors. "Captain, they were not trying to destroy us. They were testing us, observing, learning." Ilara frowned. "Testing us? By attacking?" Razi nodded slowly. "It's possible. They've never encountered humans like this. Our actions defy prediction." Ilara looked out at the stars, her mind racing. Every encounter so far had taught her one lesson: humans were underestimated at every turn, and that was their greatest advantage. The Resolute continued toward the next trial, a distant system where the Council had warned that intelligence, strategy, and diplomacy would be tested. Yet even as they traveled, shadows followed them. Unknown fleets and mysterious signals lingered at the edge of sensors. The galaxy was not welcoming. It never had been. But humans had never been the type to retreat. Days later, the ship arrived in the system designated for the second trial. It was a binary star system, one star burning bright yellow, the other a cold, icy blue. The planets orbiting them seemed hostile: sharp mountains, toxic atmospheres, violent storms. In the distance, a massive arena floated in space, a construction of metal, light, and unknown energy. "This is it," Ilara said. "The Council's second trial. Be ready for anything." The arena's gates opened, revealing a labyrinth that seemed alive. Walls shifted, floors rotated, and pathways appeared and disappeared at random. The holographic message appeared in the air: "The true trial is not strength. It is thought, strategy, and the will to act where others hesitate. Prove yourselves, humans, or fade into obscurity." The crew moved cautiously. Unlike the first trial, this one demanded more than quick reflexes. It demanded planning, observation, and understanding alien logic. They encountered corridors that changed every few seconds, forcing them to adapt continuously. Dr. Razi analyzed symbols that glowed on the walls. "They're communicating rules, but not like a language we understand. It's patterns, cycles, almost like music, but alien." "Music," Ilara frowned. "Then we play the music. We find the rhythm, not in calculation, but in instinct." The crew split into teams. Engineers worked to predict the movements of the shifting corridors. Scientists deciphered alien patterns, translating them into paths they could navigate. Pilots coordinated movement, ensuring the teams avoided traps and sudden collapses. Hours passed. Fatigue set in, but humans relied on cooperation, improvisation, and intuition. Every alien species, the Council knew, would follow predictable patterns. Humans did not. They improvised, adapting to situations faster than any algorithm could. Anticipate. Midway through the trial, a challenge appeared that seemed impossible: a chasm of shifting energy, walls that moved without warning, and platforms that floated randomly above the void. Alien observers had predicted failure. Yet humans approached it differently. Ilara studied the pattern, noticing a slight delay between shifts. It was subtle, almost imperceptible. "Move as one," she commanded. "Trust each other's instincts. We are humans. We adapt in ways no alien mind can predict." Step by step, the crew advanced, coordinating their movements with perfect timing. When a platform began to tilt, they adjusted their weight collectively, shifting the balance as if the chasm were responding to their presence. Dr. Razi's heart pounded as she crossed the final gap. When her foot touched solid ground, The labyrinth pulsed with light, acknowledging their success. The holographic voice spoke again. Humans, you are unpredictable, resourceful, and courageous. You have passed where others would fail. Your trial continues, but you have proven a truth no logic can deny. Humanity endures. The alien observers, who had followed every move, remained silent for a moment. Then quietly, one said to another, "They are terrifying." Another whispered, "Not in strength, in unpredictability. They are unlike any species we have studied." Ilara allowed herself a rare moment of pride. "Humans always adapt," she said softly, looking at her exhausted crew. "We survive, we endure, and we do not follow rules set by others. We create our own path." As the Resolute prepared to depart the trial arena, the crew reflected on what had just happened. The galaxy was beginning to notice humanity. The Council, the alien fleets, even the shadowy pirate factions. They all had to reconsider what humans were capable of. Ilara addressed the crew one last time before departure. The first trial was about survival. This one was about strategy, adaptability, and courage. We have shown the galaxy that humans are more than it expected. But remember, there is still much ahead. Greater challenges await, and we will face them as we always do, together. The ship left the arena behind, the stars stretching endlessly before them. Yet even in the quiet of space, subtle signs of observers lingered. Unknown ships followed at the edge of sensors, strange signals danced in the void, and whispers of humanity spread across the galaxy. They survive when they should fail. They adapt when others cannot. They are unpredictable. They are dangerous. Ilara did not hear these whispers, nor did she need to. The true measure of humanity was not in the opinion of the galaxy. It was in the hearts of those aboard the Resolute. They had faced impossible odds, alien logic, and deadly trials, and they had triumphed. As the ship drifted through the shadows among the stars, Ilara gazed at the distant horizon. The journey was far from over. The debt humanity owed was not yet repaid. But one truth was certain. No alien trial, no pirate ambush, no impossible challenge could break the spirit of humans. They were clever, courageous, and unpredictable. They were extraordinary. The Resolute glided silently through a star system unfamiliar to any human chart. Twin suns cast a strange light over jagged moons and swirling asteroid belts. Captain Ilara Vance stood on the bridge, her gaze fixed on the glowing coordinates of the Council's next trial. "This is it," she said softly, almost to herself. "The final trial. Everything we've done until now has led to this." Lieutenant Joren leaned over the console. "The Council warns this one is not physical, it's strategic, political. Morality will be tested. Some species have failed without even leaving the arena." Ilara nodded. "Then we must be smarter, braver, and wiser than ever before. Humans do not retreat from impossible choices. We face them head-on, together." The trial arena unfolded before them like a city suspended in space. Metallic towers floated above an endless void, connected by bridges of pure energy. But there were no enemies to fight, at least, not yet. Instead, holographic images of alien leaders appeared, projecting the chaos of a galaxy on the brink of war. "The trial is clear," Dr. Amina Razi explained. "We are to mediate peace between conflicting civilizations. Their failure threatens countless worlds. Our choices will determine the fate of entire star systems." Ilara's jaw tightened. "Then we begin." The first alien leader appeared, a towering being with scales like burnished metal and eyes like molten gold. Its voice resonated in the chamber. "Humans, if you fail, our fleets will clash, and billions will die. If you succeed, perhaps a new era may begin. Will your kind rise to the challenge?" Ilara stepped forward. "We do not fear impossible odds. We adapt, we learn, And we find solutions when others cannot. The alien nodded, almost reluctantly. Then prove it. The trial began with a simulation. Two warring civilizations, the Varathi and the Solari, were on the brink of all-out conflict. Their fleets faced each other across a nebula, weapons charged, planets at stake. Humans were given control, not of the fleets, but of strategy and negotiation. The simulation required understanding alien logic, predicting behavior, and making moral choices under pressure. Dr. Razi studied the data, analyzing the Varathi's patterns. They are aggressive but predictable. They respond strongly to honor and fairness. We can use that to build trust. Ilara nodded. And the Solari? They value intelligence and resourcefulness. They will not follow orders blindly. They respect ingenuity. Then we appeal to both, Ilara said. We use the qualities only humans truly understand: empathy, creativity, and the will to act where others hesitate. Hours passed as the crew navigated the simulation. Every decision had consequences. A wrong word could spark virtual war. A misread signal could cause mass casualties. Yet humans approached each problem differently than any alien logic would predict. When the Varathi threatened to destroy a neutral planet, Joran proposed a diversion, not through force, but through ingenuity. We stage a rescue of their civilians, he suggested. Show them our intentions are honorable. Ilara agreed. Humans do not just react. We influence outcomes by understanding the hearts of others. The crew executed the plan flawlessly. The Varathi observed human courage and compassion firsthand, and for the first time began to hesitate in their aggression. Meanwhile, the Solari demanded proof of intelligence. They presented a puzzle, a complex energy matrix that no alien algorithm could solve quickly. Humans approached it, not with brute logic, but with pattern recognition and intuition. Step by step, they unraveled the puzzle, demonstrating skill and ingenuity that left the Solari astonished. The holographic council watched silently. Every move humans made defied expectations. Where aliens relied on strict logic, humans relied on instinct tempered by empathy. Where they relied on computation, humans relied on creativity. Slowly, the impossible task began to yield results. But the final challenge awaited. Both civilizations demanded that humans make the ultimate decision: sacrifice one planet to save billions on others, or risk total annihilation by refusing to choose. The Council had designed it to break even the bravest species. Ilara paused, looking at her crew. Exhaustion, fear, and doubt flickered in their eyes. This is why we are humans, she said quietly. We do not blindly follow rules. We do not let fear control us. We create solutions that others cannot see. Together, we will find a way. Drawing on everything they had learned, the crew proposed an unprecedented solution. Instead of choosing between two disasters, they suggested a collaborative defense plan. The Varathi and Solari would combine forces temporarily, each contributing strengths that complemented the other. Humans would coordinate the defense, ensuring both civilizations survived without sacrifice. It was audacious, it was risky, and it was uniquely human. The holographic leaders hesitated, unaccustomed to such unconventional thinking, but gradually they agreed. Reluctantly at first, then with growing respect. Ships from both civilizations moved into position, guided by humans who understood the nuances of each species. The simulation ended without a single casualty, a feat no alien species had ever achieved. The arena pulsed with light, acknowledging humanity's triumph. The Council's voice filled the chamber. Humans, you have exceeded all expectations. Where others failed, you succeeded. You have proven that courage, creativity, and empathy are forces that cannot be measured by strength alone. You are remarkable. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Humans always adapt. We do not wait for perfection. We make it. The crew, exhausted but elated, gathered on the bridge. They had faced impossible moral dilemmas, strategic nightmares, and alien logic that would have broken lesser beings, and yet they had prevailed. Not through technology, not through brute force, but through qualities that only humans possessed. Courage, ingenuity, and empathy. But even as they celebrated, subtle signals appeared on the sensors. Alien fleets observing their progress, mysterious ships lurking at the edges of known space. The galaxy was beginning to take notice of humans in ways both awe-inspiring and fearful. Dr. Razi looked at Ilara. Captain, the Council has watched our decisions. Every choice we made, every risk we took. They are not just impressed. They are wary. Humans are becoming something the galaxy cannot ignore. Ilara nodded. Let them watch. Let them worry. Our task is not to please them. It is to show what humans are capable of. Courage, intelligence, and the will to survive are our greatest weapons. The Resolute prepared to depart the trial arena, leaving behind the holographic city of the Council. The twin suns cast long shadows across the floating towers, as if acknowledging humanity's triumph. For the first time, humans had not only survived the trials, they had redefined them. As the ship glided into open space. The crew gathered in the observation lounge. The stars stretched endlessly before them, each one a potential danger, a new challenge, or a witness to their growing legend. Ilara spoke quietly, almost to herself. The debt we repay is not just about what the galaxy owes us. It is about proving the worth of humanity itself. We have shown courage, creativity, and compassion. We have shown that humans are unpredictable, resilient, and capable of greatness. The crew nodded, feeling the weight of their journey. They were far from Earth, far from home, yet they carried the spirit of their species with them. Every challenge faced, every danger overcome had strengthened that spirit. And far across the galaxy, whispers spread among alien civilizations. Humans, they are not like us, one said. They survive when they should fail. They lead when others hesitate. They are terrifying. Ilara did not hear these words, nor did she need to. The truth was already clear. Humans had faced trials that would have crushed any other species. They had emerged stronger, wiser, and more respected than ever before. The final trial awaited, a test of repayment itself, the moment when humans would face the Council, deliver what was owed, and demonstrate that they were no longer a species to be underestimated. But for now they could rest. They had triumphed where others would have failed. They had shown the galaxy the true meaning of human strength. As the Resolute sailed among the stars, the crew looked to the horizon, knowing that humanity's greatest test was still to come. But one truth remained. Humans did not break, did not yield, and did not follow rules set by others. Humans adapted, humans endured, and humans repaid their debts in ways no one could have imagined. The stars watched, and for the first time they seemed to tremble. The Resolute sailed silently through deep space, carrying humanity's hopes and the weight of an ancient debt. Captain Ilara Vance stood on the bridge, staring at the stars ahead. The final destination loomed, a massive assembly of the Galactic Council, gathered in a space station that floated like a jewel among the stars. This was where humanity would repay its debt and show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. The Council awaits us, Lieutenant Joran said quietly, his eyes scanning the sensors. They've never seen a species like ours handle the previous trials. I imagine they're curious. Ilara nodded. Curious, yes. But soon they will understand the truth. Humans are not weak. Humans are not predictable. Humans endure, adapt, and triumph where others fail. The Resolute approached the Council station, its massive spires gleaming in the light of distant stars. Ships from countless alien civilizations surrounded it, observing the humans with fascination and caution. The Council's presence was overwhelming. Species whose knowledge spanned millennia, whose technology could destroy planets, and whose judgment had shaped entire galaxies. A voice resonated in the Resolute, calm but commanding. Humans, you have reached the final stage of your debt. Present it. Prove your worth, or face oblivion. Ilara's fingers tightened around the rail of the bridge. We are ready. Humanity has faced every challenge, every danger, and every doubt. And we are still here. This is what it means to be human. The council chamber was vast, floating in zero gravity, filled with beings of every imaginable form. Eyes, tentacles, holographic projections, and radiant energy forms turned toward the humans as they entered. Whispers ran through the assembly. Species who had doubted humans now watched with a mixture of respect and fear. Ilara stepped forward. We are here to repay a debt, not in gold, not in weapons, but in what humanity truly values. Courage, ingenuity, and the will to do what others cannot. We have faced your trials, endured dangers, and solved problems no species before us could solve. We offer our proof, our commitment, and our strength. The council observed silently. One of its members, a being of liquid light, spoke. Your trials were designed to test strength, intelligence, and morality. You have succeeded beyond expectation. Yet this debt, what is it that you truly owe? Ilara took a deep breath. The debt is not a matter of resources. It is the recognition of humanity itself. Our ancestors made a promise long ago to honor the galaxy, to prove that humans could endure and contribute. Today, we repay it, not with material, but with our actions, our spirit, and our proof that humans are capable of greatness. A ripple of murmurs spread across the council. Some were impressed, some confused, others wary, but all could not deny the truth they had witnessed. Humans had endured trials that would have crushed any other species. Humans had solved problems that alien minds could not. Humans had acted with courage, creativity, and morality beyond expectation. Then, the council presented the final challenge, a massive galactic simulation depicting hundreds of systems in turmoil. Conflicts erupted, natural disasters threatened billions of lives, and alien fleets clashed in ways no single civilization could control. The humans were asked to intervene, not as warriors but as strategists, negotiators, and saviors. Ilara turned to her crew. This is it. The culmination of every trial, every lesson. We will show them that humanity does not fight blindly, we do not act without thought, and we do not yield to fear. We adapt, we endure, and we protect life wherever it exists. The crew dispersed to their stations. Engineers coordinated systems to stabilize star systems. Scientists analyzed complex patterns of conflict, and pilots maneuvered delicate interventions across vast distances. Every decision had consequences, but the humans approached it differently than any alien species would. Where others relied on algorithms and rigid protocols, humans used intuition and empathy. Where others predicted behavior with precision, humans anticipated outcomes creatively. In moments where the simulation seemed impossible, humans improvised. When a planet teetered on the brink of destruction, humans engineered solutions combining physics, diplomacy, and sheer audacity. Hours turned into days. The council observed silently, their expressions unreadable. Yet as humans solved problem after problem, as star systems were stabilized and conflicts peacefully resolved, something began to change. Whispers spread. Humanity was not just surviving. Trials. They were shaping reality. Then, the final moment arrived. A massive chain reaction threatened a cluster of star systems. If it continued, billions of lives would be lost. No alien solution had succeeded in halting it. Ilara studied the situation carefully. Joran, she said, we cannot rely on their technology or their logic alone. This is a human solution. Joran nodded. Understood, Captain. We'll do it your way. Ilara devised a plan that was daring, precise, and uniquely human. They combined the ship's energy manipulation systems with a network of stabilizers across nearby planets. The crew coordinated with multiple species, not through command, but through guidance, understanding their strengths and instincts. Step by step, they redirected the chain reaction, neutralizing it before catastrophe struck. The galaxy held its breath. And then, as the last pulse of energy dissipated, silence filled the chamber. The council members observed the humans, alive, successful, and triumphant. The being of liquid light spoke again, its voice filled with awe. Humans, you have done what no species could. You have repaid your debt not through force, not through wealth, but through courage, ingenuity, and morality. You have proven your worth in ways beyond our comprehension. The galaxy us must recognize you. Ilara allowed herself a small smile. Humans do not seek recognition. We seek only to endure, to adapt, and to protect life wherever we can. This is our way. This is what it means to be human. Whispers echoed across the council chambers. They are extraordinary. They are unpredictable. We underestimated them for too long. In that moment, humanity's place in the galaxy was no longer uncertain. They were respected, feared, and acknowledged. The trials had been completed, the debt had been repaid, and the galaxy would never forget the courage, ingenuity, and spirit of humans. As the Resolute departed the council station, the crew gathered on the observation deck. The stars stretched endlessly before them, each one a reminder of the vastness of the universe and humanity's growing legend within it. Dr. Razi looked at Ilara. Captain, we did it. Humanity has repaid the debt. Ilara nodded, her eyes reflecting the light of distant stars. Yes, but this is just the beginning. The galaxy will watch us now, and we will continue to show that humans endure, adapt, and inspire. We do not break. We do not yield. We are human. Joran smiled. And now, every species will think twice before underestimating us. Ilara chuckled, softly. Exactly. Humans are not just survivors. We are a force that cannot be ignored, and our story is only beginning. As the Resolute sailed through the void, whispers spread across the galaxy. From the council to distant star systems, aliens spoke in awe and fear. The humans, they survived when no one could. They adapted when others failed. They think in ways we cannot predict. Humanity is a force beyond reckoning. The crew watched the stars in silence, proud of what they had accomplished. Humanity had stepped fully into the galactic stage, not as weaklings, not as underdogs, but as a species to be respected and feared. Ilara stood at the front of the observation deck, staring at the infinite stars. We have repaid the debt of our ancestors, she said softly. But more importantly, we have shown the galaxy who we are. Courageous, clever, unpredictable, human. And somewhere, far across the universe, the stars themselves seem to shimmer in recognition. The galaxy had seen humanity, and for the first time it knew. Humans were not just another species among billions. They were extraordinary. The debt was repaid. The trials were over, and humanity's journey across the stars had only just begun. The universe, vast and ancient, trembled, not in anger but in awe.